Hi folks, my name is Jeff Rugrock. I'm your guide to all things sanitary units. This is the second of a series of 5 PowerPoint presentations just describing to you the ins and outs of the sanitary units. The sanitary unit by definition is a water closet, a urinal, bidet, and a bedpan washer. So it is in fact a plumbing fixture. And that comes straight out of Division A, Part 1, 4.1.2, defined terms. So far, we have talked about some terminology, soil pipes and soil stacks in presentation number 1. Now we're going to go on to water closets and toilets, including some more specific terminology that goes with it. We will also be going for number 3, 4, and 5 onto the other sanitary units. So, first thing you need to know, toilet and water closet mean the exact same thing. Commode, as you'll soon see, started out as a hopper, and a few other terms you could apply here. But specifically, toilet and water closet are the terms you'll hear me use in this course. In the origins of a water closet came in the days when they were being retrofitted into existing homes that may not have had central heating. So we had what we called a non-freezing closet in the early 1900s. And remember, until this time, outhouses were considered the clean solution because it kept your poo and pee outside. So keep that in your mind. But without central heating, the upper floors in a home would be very, very frosty and cold, unless there was a fire going, obviously. But what we used to do was keep the pee trap in the basement where it was relatively warm, because the ambient ambient temperature of the earth would keep the basement as the warmest part of the house. So you'd put the trap down there. They were eventually changed so that you had a tank on top of the hopper, and that's when it became a water closet. Again, don't be a snob. Use any of these terms such as toilet and water closet interchangeably. So homes that had central heating could then have what's called a water closet, not just a closet. And that is, they had a tank filled with water that would be used to flush the hopper or the bowl. In this particular slide, we have from 1938, we have what's called the one-piece closet. We'll talk about close coupled water closets in a moment, but one-piece closets were the tank and the bowl were all in one piece of china. You didn't have to assemble the tank to the bowl at all. Those are still available today, but this is, to my knowledge, in 1938. It was the first time that they had come out, January 1938. And here you can see the evolution of the water closet, 1885 through the 1925. And then 1938, the one-piecer. Anyways, so if you have a quick boo at the passage here, it says from a 1885 fixture that was barely permissible inside, for inside use, sorry. So that's just, again, referring to the outhouses that were popular in the day where you kept your poo and pee outside. The thought of stinking up your house by having a poo or a pee inside was just unconscionable to some people. And I talk sometimes about the term sanitary unit being more of a marketing term than anything else, because they were actually considered quite unsanitary. So when you read through this, you'll see that and get a bit of a kick out of it. Again, the term water closet came from that tank being added to the closet bowl or hopper. But today, the word toilet is more popular, and the United Nations uses it, so you'll find it pretty widespread across the world, the term toilet. Water closet's just used in the plumbing industry for the most part, or amongst plumbers actually. It's not actually used in the industry. So if you go to a website like Kohler and search the term water closet, you'll just get a reply like this: sorry, we didn't find any results. So again, the term water closet is for amongst plumbers, but it has no place in the industry otherwise. This is what you call a close coupled water closet, and it is one where the toilet and the tank are connected directly. So right there, they're bolted together. It is a two-piece. That's another word for it, as opposed to the one piece you saw earlier. Anyways, this is a two-piece or close coupled water closet. It has a flush tank. It sits on top of that bowl, and it is in fact trap standard. So what trap standard means is that the trap for the fixture is integral with the support of the fixture. So if you watched the introduction to fixtures, you would have seen this already, but there is the trap. It's called an S trap because it looks a little bit like an S, and it is integral or trap standard. So remember that. Anyway, so this is the flush tank with the trap standard. Next up, we have what's called the direct flush valve. That is where there's a large pipe supplies the faucet and a large valve on top of the toilet bowl, and there's no tank. So this is more for commercial use. You'll see this in schools and perhaps libraries, convention centers, stadiums, things like that. This is by far the heavier duty one. The tanks, because they work off of gravity, are a little bit lighter duty. And nowadays, I should add, the flush valve goes onto the top. This is a rear inlet, but most of the times now they're on top. And by the way, there's a lot of infrared now too. Anyways, that's it for water closets. Give you a heads up on the history of how that came about and the different terms you might hear relating to it. Next up, we're going to talk about bedpan washers, which is the same as the clinic service sink, I'm afraid. Again, two words that mean the same fixture or related fixture. And we'll talk about those coming up. My name's Jeff Rugrock, all things sanitary.